Beginning, the dying field. Sergeant Mason Hale had seen enough battlefields to last several lifetimes. He'd walked through the ashes of ruined colonies, fought across trenches on moons with poisonous air, and survived the shattered, jagged wastelands left behind by orbital bombardments. But he had never seen a battlefield like Zerath Prime. The planet's sky was a toxic swirl of violet storms and drifting particulate clouds. Lightning cracked silently across the horizon, silent because the sound never reached the ground. Something in the atmosphere swallowed it whole. Mason trudged through what remained of the last engagement. Human and alien bodies alike lay half-buried beneath a layer of glittering dust. His exohelmet scrolled warnings. Toxicity, Espered. Radiation yellow. Atmos composition. Partial unknown. He had 10 minutes before the filters failed. His mission was simple. Search the zone for survivors. Retrieve data cores, if possible. Evacuate. He checked the bodies as he passed. Humans first, then Traylon soldiers, then Vesk, then the coalition species who'd fought alongside Earth. Nothing moved. The war on Zerath Prime had been a massacre. The Dominion had dropped a chemical agent that ate through flesh and armor alike. No one should have survived. Then his scanner beeped. A faint heat signature. Buried beneath rubble. Alive. Mason sprinted toward the source, boots crunching through ash. He pushed aside twisted metal plating, then stone, then what looked like crystallized calcium pores. Beneath it all, a shape curled in on itself, small, humanoid, badly injured. Skin pale silver. Eyes closed. Breathing shallow. A Zorathi, one of the most fragile species in the galaxy. Half their body looked crystallized, symptoms of exposure to the Dominion agent. The transformation was irreversible. Fatal. The Zorathi could not survive more than minutes after infection. Yet this one still lived. Mason knelt. Hey. Can you hear me? The alien flinched, eyes flickering open weakly. You're human, the creature whispered in shock. Yeah, Mason replied gently. Lucky you, I guess. No, she rasped. Humans do not save Zorathi. Humans fight us. You fight everyone. Mason sighed. Lady, I'm not here to fight anybody. I'm here to save whoever I can. A weak smile ghosted over her lips. Then you are not like the stories. He sliced open a pack, injected a stabilizer into her arm, and lifted her into his arms. Her breath trembled. I am already dead. We'll see, Mason grunted, adjusting his grip. I don't like losing anyone on my watch. You don't even know me. Don't need to. The Zorathi blinked slowly. My name is Lyra. Mason, he answered. Now stop talking. We're getting out of here. He didn't know it then, but the next hour would shake the entire galaxy. Middle, the impossible recovery. As Mason carried Lyra across the battlefield, dust storms whipped around them. His helmet filtered out most of it, but the agent was eating through his outer suit. Filters at 9%. His heads-up display warned. Mason tightened his grip on Lyra. Come on, Hale. Move faster. Why? Lyra whispered. Why do you risk your life for me? Mason didn't hesitate. Because someone should. Lyra trembled. Your people hate mine. Mason snorted. My people don't even know yours. The Dominion feeds everyone lies. That's how they win. She coughed, crystallized flakes drifting from her lips. The Zorathi are weak. Our bodies cannot survive war. We are always the first to die. Then someone should be the first to save one. Something shifted in her gaze, confusion, disbelief, hope. The storm worsened. Visibility dropped to meters. Mason activated his suit beacon. No response. The evac team wasn't reading him. He was on his own. He pushed harder, heart pounding, muscles burning. Lyra's voice grew faint. Mason, stop. My people do not recover from this. The crystallization has begun. Then we'll stop it. No one can. We'll see about that. Finally, through the swirling storm, the outlines of a collapsed transport appeared, the human drop shuttle that brought him here. The underside was cracked open but still functional. He rushed inside, sealed the hatch, and engaged the internal scrubbers. Air hissed as the pressurized environment stabilized. Mason laid Lyra on a bench. Hang in there. She looked up at him with dimming eyes.
Why?
Why do you care? Because you were alone, and scared, and left to die. Mason sat beside her. I know what that feels like. Her breathing slowed. Mason activated the med unit. Please tell me Zorathi biology is compatible with. The display blinked red. Unidentified species. Treatment protocol unknown. Damn it, Lyra whispered. The crystallization reaches the heart next. When it does, I will sleep. You're not dying here. You cannot stop it. Mason stared at her. This fragile, gentle alien who should have been long dead. The unit couldn't heal her. He couldn't cure her, but he could try to slow the process. He pulled open a compartment, grabbed his emergency thermal blankets, tore them apart, and wrapped her limbs to delay the chemical agent spread. Then he took out a vial of human nanomedicine, a risky, unstable formula used to stabilize soldiers long enough for evac. He held it up. Lyra's eyes widened. That would kill me. Or save you. It was not designed for Zorathi. Or any alien. It will tear my cells apart. Mason exhaled. You said you were dead anyway. She hesitated. Then, with a trembling voice, do it. Mason injected the nanites. Lyra arched, gasping, her skin flickering between solid and crystalline. The bench rattled under her. Easy, easy, stay with me. Her screams echoed through the shuttle. And then silence. Mason froze. Lyra? She lay motionless, chest still. Lyra? Nothing. He sank beside her, shoulders heavy. I'm sorry. I tried. His radio crackled. Sergeant Hale. Report. Storm clearing. Evac inbound to your coordinates. Mason stared at Lyra, at the one he failed to save. Then her fingers twitched. Mason jerked upright. Lyra? Her eyes snapped open, glowing silver, brighter than before. She took a long breath. I live. Mason laughed with disbelief. Holy how. The nanites fight the crystallization. We are in balance. I am not healed, but I am alive. Her chest rose steadily. Color returned to her skin. Mason, she whispered, you have done the impossible. He shrugged softly, relieved beyond words. Guess I'm stubborn like that. She reached out and touched his hand gently. You saved me, not because you had to, but because you chose to. Mason nodded. I wasn't letting you die alone out there. The shuttle trembled as the evac craft locked on. Lyra squeezed his hand. My people will not believe this, she murmured. Mine will, Mason said, because I'm telling them. The ending, a bond that changed worlds. Lyra was taken into the Coalition medbay, guarded by soldiers from 5 species. Humans feared she might be dangerous. Aliens feared humans might try to take her. The Zorathi High Council refused permission for her transport. They claimed she was already dead and demanded her body returned. No one expected what happened next. Lyra stepped out of the medbay on her own feet. Her crystalline patches receded with each day. Medical scans showed a hybrid state, nanites reinforcing her weakened biology, slowing the degenerative effects of the Dominion agent. It was unprecedented. Scientists called it a miracle. The Dominion called it a threat. The Zarathi Council called it impossible. But Lyra called it something else. She approached Mason, who had been stationed outside her recovery room every day, and said, "My people believe humans are destructive, violent, chaotic. But you've saved me. Why?" Mason folded his arms. "I already told you, but I want to hear it again." He exhaled slowly. "Because you mattered. Because no one deserves to die alone. Because war shouldn't decide someone's fate." Lyra looked at him with a soft, bright warmth. "Then I owe you my life." "You don't owe me anything," Mason said quietly. "Just live. That's enough." But Lyra shook her head. "You misunderstand, Mason Hale. A Zarathi does not give life debt lightly. You saved my life not once, but twice, on the battlefield and from the crystallization. By our laws, I am bound to walk beside you." Mason blinked. "Wait, what law?" "The law of the living bond," she said. "One life saved binds the spirit. 2 lives saved bind the souls." Mason rubbed the back of his neck. I wasn't expecting that." Lyra smiled gently. "Neither was I." The shockwave across the galaxy. News spread. A human saved a Zarathi. A human broke the crystallization. A human formed a living bond. In weeks, a ceasefire formed between the Zarathi and human factions. Delegates from both worlds met for the first time in decades. What began with fear transformed into cautious cooperation. Mason and Lyra became symbols, proof that war did not have to define the future. But not everyone was pleased. The Dominion issued a declaration. "If humans and Zarathi unite, the galaxy will tip against us. Eliminate the bonded pair." Assassins came. 3 times. Each time, Mason and Lyra survived, fighting back to back, her growing nanite power merging with his soldiers' instincts. They were unstoppable together. Word spread. Do not engage the bonded pair. The human and the Zarathi are death itself. Fear grew. Whispers turned to legends. Legends turned to warnings. But something else grew with it. Hope. For the first time, the Zarathi people saw humans not as monsters but as protectors. For the first time, humanity saw the Zarathi not as fragile burdens but as allies worth fighting for. Final scene, the promise. A year after Zerath Prime, Mason stood on a balcony overlooking a new joint outpost, a combined human-Zarathi research station studying nanite crystallization. Lyra stood beside him, healthier than ever. "Mason," she said softly, "you changed my world. You changed mine first." She smiled, silver eyes glowing. "Do you regret saving me?" "No," Mason said firmly. "Saving you wasn't a mistake. It was the best thing I've done." "And now?" she asked. "Now," he said, turning toward the horizon. "We stop the Dominion. Together." Lyra placed her hand over his. "Then let the galaxy witness," she whispered, "what a human and a Zarathi can do." An alarm sounded in the distance. Another battlefield. Another cry for help. Another chance to rewrite fate. Mason picked up his rifle. Lyra's eyes glimmered with resolve. And side by side, they walked toward a future that only humans and Zarathi could build. A future born not from war, but from a soldier who refused to let someone die alone.